It's the middle of the night. You wake up thirsty, swing your legs out of bed, and the room is pitch black. And before you've even taken a step, something happens in your body. Your heart picks up, your skin prickles. Some part of your brain is suddenly, quietly certain that you are not alone. You reach for the light switch a little too fast. You might even take the stairs a little too quickly, like something behind you is deciding whether to follow. And when the light comes on, there's nothing. There's never anything. So why does it feel like that every single time? Here's the strange part. You are a grown adult, factually, that your hallway does not contain a predator. You've walked it 1,000 times. And it doesn't matter even a little bit. The fear doesn't check with the logical part of your brain first. It arrives before thought, fully formed, older than you, older than your language, older than your species. Because you are not actually afraid of the dark. Nobody is. Darkness is just an absence, and you can't be afraid of nothing. What you're afraid of is what the dark hides. And for almost the entire history of your ancestors, the dark hid something very real. Let's get one thing straight, because it changes everything. For most of the story of being human, we were not the top of the food chain. We like to imagine early humans as mighty hunters striding across the savannah, but the fossils tell a more humbling story. We were also food, and nothing made that clearer than the night. There's a famous skull, one of our early relatives, a child, and punched into it are two neat holes. For years, no one could explain them until someone lined them up with the lower canine teeth of a leopard. They matched perfectly. That child had been carried off and eaten, the skull dropped into a cave the way a leopard stashes a kill. There's another famous fossil, one of the oldest hominid children ever found, and the damage to its eye sockets matches the talons of a giant eagle. These weren't rare accidents. Across Africa, the bones of our ancestors turn up in the dens of big cats and the nests of raptors. We were on the menu, and the animals that ate us hunted at night. Leopards, lions, hyenas, the whole roster of things with better night vision than us did their killing in exactly the hours when we could see the least. So picture your ancestors, a small band of primates huddled together in the dark, no claws, no fangs, eyes that basically stop working the second the sun goes down. Every night was a gamble. And here's the brutal math of evolution. The ones who felt relaxed in the dark, who wandered off alone, who slept out in the open without a care, a lot of them didn't wake up. The ones who felt that cold spike of dread, who stayed close to the group, close to the fire, who startled at every snapped twig, those are the ones who lived to have children. You are descended from the nervous ones. The calm ones got eaten. That anxiety you feel in a dark room isn't a flaw. It's a trait. It was selected for. It's the reason your bloodline exists. But there's a second layer, and it's happening in your brain right now. You are a daytime animal. Almost everything about you is built for light. Your eyes are packed with cones for color and detail, and in the dark, those cones go nearly useless. Your single best sense, the one you rely on more than all the others combined, gets switched off. And your brain hates that. It cannot stand not knowing what's out there. So it does something remarkable. When it runs out of real information, it starts filling in the blanks itself. That shadow in the corner, your brain will happily sketch a figure onto it. That creak, it'll assign it footsteps. This isn't you being irrational. It's a survival setting. Think of it like a smoke detector. A smoke detector that occasionally screams over burnt toast is annoying, but a smoke detector that stays quiet during a real fire gets you killed. Evolution tuned your brain the same way. It would rather scare you 1,000 times over nothing than stay calm the one time something is actually there. False alarms are cheap. Missing a real predator is fatal. So your brain leans hard toward the false alarm every time. And this is why the dark comes with that specific crawling sensation, the feeling that you're being watched. That feeling has a name and a purpose. Deep in your brain sits the amygdala, your threat detection center, and in low light, it goes into overdrive. Your startle reflex gets sharper, sounds seem louder, your body quietly floods with stress chemicals, priming your muscles to run before you've consciously decided anything is wrong. You are, without realizing it, running an ancient security system, scanning a room your eyes can't actually see. The feeling of being watched is that system reporting for duty. It doesn't have proof. It's not supposed to wait for proof. That's the whole point. Now, notice who's most afraid of the dark. Children. Almost every kid goes through it. The monster under the bed, the thing in the closet, the absolute certainty that the hallway is not safe. And parents treat it as a phase to be talked out of. But flip it around. The fear isn't something children learn. It's something they're born with, installed at the factory, standard equipment. What actually happens as we grow up is that we slowly file it down. We rack up thousands of dark nights where nothing eats us, and the logical brain slowly, partially, convinces the ancient brain to stand down. Adults aren't braver than children. We've just spent decades collecting evidence that the closet is empty. But that fear never fully leaves. It just goes quiet. And on a bad night, alone, in an unfamiliar house, it wakes right back up, as fresh as it was when you were 6. Let's be honest about the flip side, though. This system isn't perfect, and sometimes it misfires badly. For some people, the alarm never quiets down, and the fear of the dark becomes genuine, life-limiting, a real phobia that steals sleep and shrinks the world. That's the cost of a smoke detector set this sensitive. And the thing is, the monster it's screaming about is gone. The leopards that hunted our ancestors aren't in your hallway. The eagles aren't circling your bed. We won. We are, by an absurd margin, the most dominant animal the planet has ever produced. And yet the fear stayed, because fear doesn't live out in the environment where the predators used to be. It lives in here, in us, wired into a nervous system that hasn't gotten the memo that we're safe now. And that's the part that should stop you. Every time you flick on a light because a dark room felt wrong, every nightlight glowing in a kid's bedroom, every time you walk a little faster up the basement stairs, you are having a conversation with a ghost. Not a real one. The ghost of a real predator, one that's been dead for tens of thousands of years, still setting off an alarm in a creature that now builds cities and splits atoms and lights up the night so brightly you can see it from space. We conquered the dark. We flooded it with electricity precisely because some ancient part of us could never make peace with it. The monster under the bed was real once. It had a name and teeth, and it hunted your family in the dark for 2 million years. You don't remember it, but your body does. So the next time you're standing in a black hallway and you feel that cold little pulse of dread, that certainty that something is there, don't be embarrassed by it. That feeling is a gift. It's the last echo of every ancestor who was afraid enough to survive the night. Nothing's there, but something used to be. And a part of you will never, ever forget.